All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope your day is going good. I got rid of a couple people, blocked a couple people, so I can tell my story of the life of being Johnny Kramer. The hardest role I ever had to step into, but I can tell you this much: the man swam through a river of crap. The women that he had to put up with, the things he had to do. I don't blame him one bit. It just was horrible. But hold on a minute. Let me readjust the camera and we'll go on with the story. All right. Let me make sure I got my coffee. But this was a hard thing to do, right? Because I'm not used to it myself. To be somebody that has lived a life of Johnny Kramer is unbelievable. I could tell you this much. The dang emails, the dang phone calls, the dang emails and phone calls is enough to drive somebody nuts. These fake ass people out there acting like they're somebody they're not. It's just crazy. It's complete madness. It is complete madness. I agree 100%. Railroaded. I do believe he was railroaded. Hold on, I'm gonna refill my coffee. Hey, Hakatu girl, how you doing? All right, so let's get on this story. And it is, and folks, you've already seen Johnny's life on the silver screen. Day after day, this man had to put up with crap from these nut jobs, complete nut jobs. Hey, Hawkatua girl, how you doing? You're pretty famous on YouTube. Everyone is talking about that lady. But you know what, folks? We're tired of these people trying to lure people, using their photos, using their information, hacking their channels, threatening people, and then when the people that it's being done to, right, stand up for themselves, they're always to blame, right? A lot of people don't realize that cannabis is federally illegal. A lot of people are saying, oh, well, it's state legalized. Yes, it is state legalized. But the state cannot stop the federal government from coming in and taking you guys to prison, especially if you're growing cannabis illegally without licenses. I don't, I don't know. They're all smoking it up on right on film and camera, and I keep telling that's you shouldn't be doing that. Kids are watching you. You shouldn't be doing half of the stuff these people are doing on camera, even though it's state legal. It's not federal. Yet, a lot of these people can be in serious trouble if the government really wanted to crack down on them. So you got that, right? You got all these people hacking our channels, hacking our Facebook photos. There's a lot of, we've been doing research right now. There's a lot of women that ain't even women on YouTube. They're men, or they have a man behind them. Meaning the man is running the scam, right? And he's using these women to scam, to get information from them, to get photos, to get whatever they can use to make $1 on you. A lot of these women that have come up dead were on dating sites. Gabby Petito, she was on a dating site. Her face, she probably didn't even know it. She might have belonged to one, but the system got hacked, and her photo probably got put all over these dating sites. And the research was done on that. Another one, Stephen Stearns, the girl that he killed, I do believe she was on a dating site. Her face was on a dating site. So their money, faces are money. Nude photos are money to these sickos. And they're breaking our privacy. And I have nothing against a man and a woman that are dating, if it's real and they are dating and they've been with each other in bed, for them to be sending nude photos back and forth, if they're married, whatever, or been dating on, I don't see no harm in that. What I see the harm in is the sickos that take it and then they show it, or they use it as a weapon on YouTube, or they open a dating site using your photo to make money. I got a problem with that, a severe problem with that. And so do many other people's, where our privacy is being raped, much like Lane Staley said in his song, right? His privacy is being raped. Well, Johnny Kramer's privacy has been raped his whole life. I've been playing this role, and I can tell you this much. He was a great dude. He did love women, but only one woman at a time, and he did fall in love with these women, and he was a victim of these women. Lies spread about him and everything, right? Scams put on him and everything. I'm a witness to it. I'm a witness to it. And the evidence all pointed that he never started any naughty talk in a conversation in any of his messages that we read. It was always the woman. And let me tell you something, folks. Some of these women were not women. They had women photos, they had women accounts, but they were men trying to lure him to his death. That's probably what killed him. That's probably what killed him. We've gone over numerous messages of these women. Oh, we love you. We love you. Right? Oh, look at this. Showing photos, video, all kinds of stuff. But nothing ever, one on one, nothing ever occurred of it. Always asking for something. Right? And never receiving anything back. No, I'm not saying that's happening to any of the women that are on my channel or that I'm associated with. But I'm just making a point. It's hard, dang hard, to be Johnny Kramer. You can lead someone on for only so long, and then finally one day they say, enough is enough. done with the lies, master manipulators, and liars and cheats and thieves. And from our documentation and messages and everything we've gone through, Johnny Kramer was not the scammer. Johnny Kramer was not the progressor. And Johnny Kramer was not the idiot. He is dumb. He does have a disability. This is true, and this is documented. This is true. This is true. But he's not the person that these people made him out to be. Now, like I said, I'm not saying any of the women on my channel or my chat or anything are bad people, but we have seen in so many, and this is what upsets me is when these women, when we catch these men and women with fake accounts, they get mad. They get mad, and everyone's like, "Why are you mad when you are the ones manipulating and scamming and taking men's hearts, and the men were stealing women's hearts." We had a woman in my chat last night ask a question about why do these women send Ernie Shell their money and panties and bras? It's a cult. And a lot of these women have been taken advantage of. No, they've never slept with Ernie Shell. Well, probably some of them might have, but they were promised golden showers and rainbow clouds, and it just wasn't that. And they get upset. And Johnny Kramer, whether you folks want to believe it or not, is famous. And wait a minute, here comes one of my mods. Let's see. You are fake. Debbie Fox says I'm fake. My own mind. No, I'm real. I'm the real Johnny Kramer. I'm the real Johnny Kramer from Chicago. I was playing the role of Johnny Kramer. And a lot of people, I'm the real John Kramer, right? From Chicago, Illinois, outskirts of Chicago. Went to high school, grammar school, or kindergarten, all that. But I'm playing the role of Johnny Kramer, right? Who on the streets was a different person, right? And we have all the dad, all the friends, everybody, we've documented all this. And it's a movie, and this channel was all like this channel was like what a team they would have had, Donnie Baker and Johnny Kramer. It was like that. It was like a Donnie Baker, but I was, doing the Johnny Kramer, and it was unreal. It got wrapped up into it. The women started sending emails and the photos, and all the women, right? They were in love with him. But they weren't. They weren't in love. It was a love, and I could see how he fell for it because he was strung on. He was played. I had a mod last night come into my chat last night and say played, right? She was laughing and said they played you, or played or Ernie Shell played whatever. I think Miss Debbie Fox was the one that was saying yes. The women said Ernie money and panties and bras, and they were played by Ernie. Yes, you were talking about me, Miss Fox. Oh, don't worry, Miss Fox. Don't worry. But playing this role was and is unbelievable. No, it's never been about me. We can tell this much. Johnny Kramer was a forgiving man, and he did help people out that he didn't know. And he did help the old. What we do know today, and what we have found out and tracked and have documented, was a lot of people that were jealous. And they were being paid by jealous people to destroy someone's life. It is true Johnny Kramer was going to run for president. It is true that a lot of these women use uh, his channel and him and all that. That is true. Debbie Fox says, take her wrench. She is out. Okay, I will, Miss Fox. I will. And we do have documentation showing all this. Here's the thing Johnny Kramer does have a disability. This is true. He she's okay. Hawk too. She's all right. She's okay. She messaged me before I went on. But here is the thing. Uh, I can see how he did fall in love with some of these women, but it was never going to happen, right? It was always a promise, a wing, almost like Bon Jovi saying, a wing and a prayer. And nothing ever became of it, right? He didn't sleep with any of them women. And we do know it's a proven fact, and it's all been documented. I'll tell you what, the dude went through hell worse than Andy Dufresne. So, like I said, folks, what can I suggest to these people? Stop scamming people. Stop trying to get nude photos. Stop trying to get people's information, social security numbers. Stop trying to lure people to their debts. Turn yourselves in. Now, it's a proven fact that I've had numerous people watch this channel and they have emailed me and sent me messages stating what they thought. I also had a mod that's been missing for a while. Uh, she stated her opinion on what was going on my channel. Either it was hacked or someone was trying to control it or do something with it. That's very well possible. But once again, I'm not stating any of these women in my chat. I'm not talking about any of these women right now that were in my chat or my mods or anything like that. Uh, I'm stating in general the people that that we have messages, him communicating with women and everything. He wasn't the dude. I do believe that it was a bunch of jealous people or a setup. My opinion, there was people that he did make a lot of people money, and there was a lot of people that were jealous. They didn't want to pay that money. You know, it could be numerous things, but it's a very interesting life. And even though he had a disability his whole life, he went to work. He did work. It's not like he sat around. He was very good in sports before his accident, and I do believe after his accident, he played sports still and did sports, but then finally he couldn't. because the concussion that he had, right? And we do know, we spent time with him. He had bad days and good days. There was days where he felt good, looked good, and then there was days you can tell he didn't look good. He didn't feel good. And he was a dude that was used. He was very, what's that word? Gullible. Right? We know this much from the documentation and everything that we've seen. A lot of these people said and made false claims on him. Right? I know, Miss Debbie, you can't blame it on your disabilities. Well, some you can. Like people with Tourette's and everything, they flip out. They say things they don't mean. They sometimes they freak out. Wow, where did that come from? You know, but they don't mean what they say. It's their disability that's doing it, right? So they might accidentally hurt your feelings, but not really mean it because they have an outburst of stuff or whatever, right? Or they have a disability, right? So I can't blame them people. But Miss Debbie Fox has a point that you can't go around blaming behavior on disabilities. And, well, some you can. Some disabilities you can because people are mentally disturbed or whatever. But it's interesting to play this role. And, there was a lot of people asking you know, who can they get to play the role and everything. And I don't think people realize the horrors and things he went through. He had a rough upbringing after his accident when he was a young man. Uh, Communication skills, and then just like every brain injury we see after an accident or whatever, he turned to alcohol and drugs to kill the pain. And after so many years, then the breakdown, the concussion got worse, uh, the the drugs got worse, the alcohol to kill the pain from the swelling of the brain, and it just got worse. He did quit after a while, and that's documented, uh, and he quit doing all that years before he was evaluated and found out that he did have a brain problem, which that was all documented. No, no, Richard Allen is not friends with Johnny. Never knew him. So it's been interesting. I've met a lot of nice people along the way. A lot of people have heard about Johnny Kramer, even on YouTube. He was a big fan of Donnie Baker and the rest of these comedians. He loved music. I'm going to be honest with you, he was not the one using these women. He didn't use women. He was not a womanizer. He was only with a handful of women his whole life. One of them, he got pregnant, and that was it. He was not a player. Uh, all these people think he was. He was not what these people thought he was, and that's all documented, and you can see it out there if you want. No, he did bring down the pedo ring in the Delphi case. We know that. We know that these he did have a part in helping and figuring out the Delphi case, even when they didn't want him to. So it's a very interesting role, uh, and he is capable of doing everything himself. He's learning as he goes. If he has to. Right? But like I said, and many other people said, people are being used on YouTube. Johnny was used. So many of these people were being used and scammed. It's not funny. Is it demonic? Yes. I'm going to be honest with you. What we've seen and felt is demonic, pure evil. And that was way before Crime Night came along. I was on this case way before that, right? Because we were documenting everything with Johnny Kramer channel. He was on that case probably 6 months after half a year. He lived out there, and it was on the news that night that the girls did come out missing. So, like I said, and he was attacked by these YouTube crime channels. That has also been documented and is proof. And yes, even the crazy man himself was in his chat. Even that dude Greeno, uh, because Johnny Kramer from the beginning said all these dudes, the whole case was fishy, and it was all lies, and they were. It was a group of them. There was many of them, and the he's the one that went through the voice, the recording. Right? A lot of people didn't pick up on that when Doug Carter said numerous voices were on the recording, other than Abby and Libby's. That means there was more than one person's voice on that recording. Yes, his channel was even used on other channels for content and found his videos on other people's channels. And yes, this is true. You are right, Miss Fox. He was also used on other channels. And his channel was hacked. And people, right, they were all saying he was screaming wolf. But he wasn't screaming wolf. He was telling the truth. These people couldn't handle the truth. Thus, for they got rid of Johnny. Oh, sure. I agree. I agree. They do. I agree. But like I said, Johnny went through a horrible, horrible life, being used by women. I'll tell you one thing right now. That man, that dude, never used a woman in his life. Never used a woman in his life. And he was a sucker because he fell in love with all the wrong ladies. He was a sucker. Half the time he was demonically possessed. And we have documentation of people even saying that. We believe he was being spiritually attacked demonically by some of these YouTubers. I agree with these people. I agree with these professions. 100%. 100%. I think the drug cartel, all of them are pissed off. He wasn't going along with the program, folks. He wasn't going along with their program. He spoke the truth, and the good Lord knew it. And he sinned. He was not perfect. When his drug and alcohol years were around, he was a sinner. He was he was he he was it was not a good angel, right, or whatever, but he was lost, but he found his way. Not no more, Miss Debbie Fox. The women today have become they're puppets for sickos, for other men, for they're them themselves are stuck in pornographic rings and sex rings. They're being used hostages. Some of these women can't leave their property because they'll be lost. They're so brainwashed. They're afraid to get away. They're afraid to break away. And most of them are being used and they don't even know it. We know this much. In our studies, in all the documentation, all the messages and emails, Johnny was a good boy. Yes, he did talk dirty. Yes, at one time he was a model. Yes, at one time women uh, thought he was a good looking dude. This is all true. Yes, there's some say there's some photos out there that people have stolen, put on the internet, and using on. This is all true stuff. That's all been documented. It's all there. It's all there. All the way down to the professional computer guy that looked at the computer and said there was a file he downloaded. It was hacked. Or it was a cracked photo or whatever, or file, and it corrupted his computer. It had nothing to do with anything other than a corrupt file. I mean, it's just horrible what these people will go through. The lies that they told, and they all got caught in lies. They all got caught in lies. There's nothing I can do. I'm not going to get upset at him. He was a single dude after he had his kid and they split up. He was never married in his whole life. He was single. He was in love with a woman that didn't love him. He was in love with her for I don't know how many years. They had a kid together. He was devoted to her. And finally, one day, he woke up and said, screw it. She ain't coming home. And it's the way it is. And he was single. And I don't blame him. He was, at that time, a good looking dude. And I guess from what the women say, and he was blessed in other ways, I guess, from what all these women are saying. But that was Johnny. I mean, that's just what he was. It's what he did. A lot of women are upset. They're jealous. I can tell you that. Once, and we have messages of a woman. that seen his nudes, and she was like, "Oh my God, that's a nice specimen." And then she got mad because he rejected her. Right? Asked the question, "How'd you get that photo?" Whatever. She was a nice lady. She said, "Well, it was over here. It was a dating site, whatever." Yeah, she was honest about it, and it was. They were hacked when his computer got hacked or whatever. It took all his photos and everything. So it was all true stuff. He wasn't lying. Not one bit. He wouldn't be here today if it was a lie. That was all the truth. So we got it all documented. We got everything. It was a whole movie. It was everything. It was everything. Right. Now, some of these ladies were seeing probably fake photos because they were being sent deliberately fake photos because Mr. Kramer's photos were already out there. Most of these women that are seeing this stuff are probably jealous because he paid so much attention to this one woman, and it pissed off all these women because Johnny was very polite with women and showed certain women special attention. And when these women didn't get the attention they wanted, they got mad, and we have proof of that. That it's all documented. It's all out there that they got jealous and created a giant coup. It's like they always wreck a woman that he was interested in, or a man comes along and wrecked the relationship that he was trying to have with a woman. It was horrible. Oh, Debbie, all the dating sites pretty much show all the news. Oh, hi, Laura E. How you doing? So, this one woman, or numerous women, and we have it documented, went ahead and came up with lies about Johnny to try and get him away from a one woman that he was in love with, and they were trying to get him away. But it comes to find out that she might not have been on the up and up and was using him. And I was like, this is unbelievable. What kind of life did this man lead? It must have been horrible. You can't trust nobody. And you think, and the whole time he thought he was dealing with adult, adult women, mature women that kept things private. But I'll tell you what, he kept everything private. He did not show one photo of any woman to anybody. That was his big thing. That is my private life. You do not expose your private life like that. You only do that to one woman that you're in love with, and that's it. And that's all been documented. He never did. I hate to say it, he was used. And in the business, it's it's normal. No, Miss Debbie, that's not true. That is not true. Not every woman he talked to seen any. He wasn't private. He wasn't. Uh, he wasn't private like that with all these women. That's a lie, and we have documentation that shows. He was in a uh, internet love triangle or something. And one woman, It's like that song. She loves him, but he loves her. You just can't win. James Gain or whatever it was, right? She was in love with someone else, but he was in love with her. And the feeling wasn't mutual. It was just a big game they were using. And there's big names behind it, right? Big YouTube names behind it. It's just unreal. He didn't send photos uh, like that, Miss Debbie Fox, to all these women. That's a lot. Maybe one of the women that he dated or was in an internet love affair with or something maybe leaked the photos to other women, but he did. We have proof that only one or two women seen anything like that within the. I think it was 14 years being on YouTube and the Facebook accounts and all that, and all the emails and everything. He was not. He didn't. He was not a player. We never said you cared, Miss Debbie Fox. Now don't get upset. Don't get upset. Good God, we're not talking to you about this, Miss Fox. We're just explaining stuff. I don't care. You do you, boo. I don't know what she's upset about. You want to show the world your show? You should. No, I didn't say I wanted to because that, and Johnny Kramer didn't do that either. I'm sorry, but we do have the documentation and all the email, all the messages, and he didn't show his junk to all the world. If anything, it was true what the computer expert fixer guy said was his computer was hacked. It was corrupted and sent all his photos and even his private photos, uh, not of women, of him, right? He didn't save women's photos. He wasn't a sicko like that. He deleted everything after he seen it. His emails he deleted after he seen it. He didn't keep photos of women. He wasn't a sicko like that. He did like looking at a good woman. This is true. We have all the documentation. Miss Fox. And a lot of women were jealous. You're right. Miss Fox says, I am jealous. You won't tell me website. I don't know what Miss Fox. They're like I said, the computer guy that went through his computer, checked out his computer, he didn't send photos to anybody deliberately to all these dating sites and everything. His computer was hacked. The faces showed up there. He did belong 12 years ago to a respectable dating site, Find Love or whatever, some mat or the match or something like that. No nudes on it. It was a respectable site, and I do believe, his photo was on there for like 6 months, but then he closed the site uh, or the profile. But why he was on that dating site, they're saying that it's possible when his computer was hacked that the photo that he had on that dating site, because all of our information, folks, is accessible. Even even our social security numbers, our whole lifestyle on the internet, everywhere. Even the banks, even the businesses, our information is being stolen from them. It's just crazy. So we do have all the documentation. And yes, Miss Fox, we know that you were secretly uh, having an affair with Johnny. It's no big deal. It seems like there was another one where he fell in love. Just, I think he spent too much time with her. That upset other women. He gave her special treatment. He gave her special tea and all that, and in the chats, and always he lifted her up. But there was another case where she couldn't either handle the love or she was the downfall. I'm not sure. That's what I'm saying too. There was a bunch of blah 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 going on, but I think it was more coming from of jealousy, right? Maybe she was jealous. Other women wanted him, uh, and we do see this on the internet and throughout social media and everything. And these women trying to attack or break up Johnny and whoever he was trying to have a relationship with. So it was very interesting. I can tell you this much. I don't know how that dude did it. He was broker than a joker. He had mental problems, still does. Funnier than crap, and not too bad being he had a disability on the guitar. And the dude can sing, and he had an imagination. Nah, I don't think so, Lane. He wasn't gay, although a lot of you, we noticed a lot of you following him around to other chats, trying to make it out like he was gay. No, he wasn't gay, believe me. Never ever was gay. I can tell you one thing. The dude gets a lot of emails from chicks. The chicks dig him. He's good to women. He don't beat. He don't use. He don't try and exploit women or blackmail them or anything like that. The dude don't show photos of women. And we got the proof and the documentation to show. He was not what these broads that were jealous. Uh, and let me tell you, every broad was like, I'm pregnant. Like it was his kid. We've been following him for 12 years. He was around no one. No women came in or out of that apartment. He never went to a woman's house. He never met with anybody. He went and did his work when he had to, and he came home, and that was it. And all these women saying that he's got kids with him, and all, and they're like pure liars. We have all the documents. It was just lies on top of like he. How can you have 999 kids? People were like, I googled your name. I see you got 900 and something kids. Are you crazy? You people must be crazy. And I can see how this government country has gone straight down the tubes. Lies, and the Bible said they will come to create lies, steal, cheat, rape, and kill, and that's what they've been doing to little Johnny. And he stuck up for some of these women. He stuck up for some of these women that all these women were saying they were hoes and all kinds of skanky ass. He stuck up for these women when these dudes were in their chat telling these women to sit on my, doing all kinds of sick stuff. He stuck up for them women and told them dudes to shut their mouths. That this is a respectable chat. You shouldn't be talking to women like that. They need to make $1. These people got it all wrong. What did I see? I see Satan very jealous. I see a bunch of idiots very jealous. God dang Manson family, a curse. I would say I think someone did curse little Johnny, or maybe numerous people did curse him. I do believe that. I do believe that he's a very polite person. He don't attack people's channels. We've been watching him. Yeah, these people are nuts. This is how they created the Delphi madness, the Summer Wells madness, numerous murders and crimes and trafficking of children and using people's photos, men's, not only women's. I was shocked when we found out how many men's photos were used without them knowing. The rise of men being used to lure these people is unreal. And the women do the same thing. It's unbelievable. It's unreal. Hey, if it happened to him, it can happen to anybody. Trespass? Yeah, I think he was trespassed on demonically. Cursed, people trespass him. Yes, I do believe so, Lord. In Jesus' name. So, like I said, we've been documenting it. We have all the messages, all the his his whole thing. We have it all documented. A very interesting life. Uh, the dude worked even with a disability. People called him a bum. People call him it. Everybody trying to get money out of him. It was a crazy life. The drugs, the alcohol, it was great. No diseases or anything like that. And we found that also that these women that were trying to get with him, for some reason, he had a sense of what woman was bad and what woman was not. And he was right, right? He could pick, he knew, right? Just something about, no, that's not a good woman. He, he, he had a knack for it. I don't know how I have no idea how he did these things. I don't know. I'm trying to learn myself. I'm just a student like you folks. He stood up for he stood up for the Italians. He stood up for some of these biker clubs because these Delphiers were saying it was the syndicate, it was the biker clubs or whatever. He stuck up for them. Uh, yeah, I mean it's just crazy. No, there was women that wanted him, but Satan sent in women that that would wreck it. They would wreck it, right? Home wreckers, and we got that documented, right? How they started a loose spirit. I think his whole life he was tormented by Satan, and I'm being honest. I think his whole life he was tormented by Satan. I think his whole life he was cursed. And from what some say, a woman or something. I don't know. It's possible. I would believe it. It's a tough role to play. It's an unbelievable life. I mean, the guy was talented. He was a construction worker. He did everything. He worked at a restaurant. He did construction. Was a framer. Built decks. Uh, Worked on cars. He did. He was dumber than a doornail. I'm gonna agree. He had a disability, but you would only see that disability come out if you spend time with him. Then you would see, oh, no, I know a lot of people that have disabilities, but can beat the brakes off of people in certain doing certain work. I don't know what it is. Dumber than a doornail, have a disability, but one of the best workers on a crew. Yeah, I've seen it before. I've seen it before. He did have a disability. The people that say no, he didn't have a disability are the people that abused him. Them are the people that abused him. Were the ones that said no, he don't have a disability. Nothing wrong with him. He did have a disability. He had numerous doctors for him to even go on disability 10 years ago or whatever it was. Uh, you got to see numerous doctors. I think he had to see like 5 doctors or something like that. He had to take all kinds of tests. He had to go to the hospital all the time. And finally, they said, "Hey, you got a problem. You have a disability." That's what they said to him. But he knew it all of his life. Like I said, you wouldn't notice the disability unless you spent some time around him. Then you would see it come out once in a while. But other than that, he tried to live his life normal, like so many other people with disabilities. And his family were military people, and they had disabilities. And he seen the evil that was in the world when it comes to people that don't look or act or sound like everyone else. They abuse these people. It's horrible. I do believe he was abused. I do believe he was used. I do. That is the truth. I mean, that's my opinion, and from all the documentation and everything we've seen, and I think the whole world was out to get him. They were just waiting for somebody to pounce on, someone to use, someone to make money off of. And they made a lot of money. They made a lot of money. No, I still got family within the military, dude. It's obvious these people have no idea what they're talking about. He still has family. I'm still playing the role. I can't break out of. I got to get out of this role. No, he still has family within the military and friends. But I'll tell you what, this was the hardest role I had to get into. I had to play. Some days I had to look horrible. Some days I had to look presentable. Some days It was just, I couldn't fathom getting inside his head. Plus all the headaches that he always had, which is brought on by concussion, brain swelling. Back then, people didn't know about concussions. They didn't. They didn't know about concussions back then when he was growing up, when he had his accident. They didn't start paying any attention to it until they started having these rich people that were famous football players that would get hit in the head, contact sport, get hit in the head, and be perfectly fine. And 10 years later, uh, they got serious problems. That's how concussions work. You might not see a concussion, the effects of it, for many, many years. And I believe that's what happened. Well, yeah, to all to each their own. I've always supported the military and family in military, and to each their own. You might think it's disgusting to mention someone's, a family that served. I thank them all for serving and my family and all the rest, but that's your opinion. You don't have to. I'm not Ernie Shell, right? I'm not saying I was in the military or whatever, but I'm going to give you a little bit of time to figure it out. And you can talk amongst yourselves, figure out who's what or whatever. Hey, I'm just playing. I'm just Miss Lori. Miss Laura E said he can bedazzle me. No, Miss Laura, you're so nice. He is single. But Doom or whatever could be right. These women never wanted them, and they were just using them for money or clout or whatever. Yeah, he's single and ready to mingle, Miss Debbie Fox said. Really, he wasn't. He was. I think he was in love with that woman. I think he really wanted that woman to be with him, Miss Fox. No doubt about it. From the messages and from everything, I think he really was in love with that woman, and he really wanted to spend time with that woman. And from what I can tell in the messages, he was in love with her. He was deeply in love with her, and he never slept with her. It was a internet love connection or whatever they call it or whatever. He never slept with her. He never bedded down with her or anything like that. He was just intimate with only with her. And I do believe, Miss Debbie Fox, that upset all these women because before she came along, he was talking to other women and other chats and mingling and you know talking with women. He was getting emails and everything. And then one woman came along, and he devoted all of his time, all of his attention to that one woman. And it seems to me that some of these women got jealous. Laura E says, Johnny, I think your mod has a lot of hate inside. Is she mad at you? Which mod? She might be talking to Doom, Laura E. She might be talking to me. I'm not sure. Miss Miss Fox, who you talking? He will take everything. Step right up. I don't know what she's talking. I ain't taking nothing. Just put a bow in your hair, wear some nail polish, and you are in. Oh yeah, and don't know too much. I don't know if, who's Miss Fox is upset. We don't even know who is. We're gonna do a segment on that. Who is the real Debbie Fox? The mod of the Johnny Kramer show. Miss Laura E. I don't know. She might have a lot of anger built up inside for me, you, everybody. I'm not sure. Something ain't making sense, though. I agree with you, Miss Lori E. She might act like she likes me, but behind closed doors, she's got little voodoo dolls of Johnny Kramer. I wouldn't die. It wouldn't shock me anymore. Miss Laura E., do you want to be a mod here too? I used to be. I used to ask other people who could be a mod, who can't be a mod. People's judgment, we noticed that too. Johnny did appreciate other people's intake and other people's opinions on stuff, especially his music stuff. Johnny Kramer did appreciate people's opinions. Now, I was asking if Lori E wanted to be a, a mod or whatever. You are from what I like to call the circuit. Who is she talking to? Debbie, who will you please be polite today, Miss Debbie Fox? I don't know if she's talking to Doom, Lane Staley, or the other person I timed out. Let her take my place. Uh-oh, she's mad at somebody. She is definitely mad at somebody. Laura E might be right. Miss Fox might be upset at me. I know this much. This roll almost killed me with the up and down weight, the smoking cigarettes, having to deal with mad, crazy women. The jealousy, I never seen so much jealousy before in my life. It about killed me. I'm done with this role. I'm not playing it no more. I'm going back to being myself, John Kramer. And that alone is tough enough to do. Is there anything? I'm okay. I don't want to get between you two. You don't, you're not getting in between us, Miss Lori E. I think she's just mad at someone else or something. You know what? I am out, she said, taking the last train out of Loserville. You later, ta ta, for now. For now, you don't get to pick. You don't get to pick when you get to go and come, Miss Debbie Fox. She's like, I'm done with this crap. I'm out of here. I'm on the train out of here. This Loserville. Ta ta for now. Like she's gonna come back. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Miss Lori says, I want a Johnny doll. That's, I've seen they've hit Amazon. I've seen that. It's unbelievable. You too can have one, Miss Lori E. 1999. Just joking. I'll give you one for free. A Johnny, a Johnny Kramer torso doll. Johnny's watching right now as I'm doing this live. My opinion, Mr. Kramer, is you need a good woman. One woman, a good woman. That's what you need, Mr. Kramer. One woman, a good woman, and that's it. That's it. You don't need to be playing the field. You're not a player, Mr. Kramer. I'm giving you good advice here. And I've given advice to a lot of these people on YouTube. They haven't taken it and they're in a world of crap. But you don't have to listen to me, and that's just my opinion. For all we know, they're acting like they're in a world of crap and they're not. Is there anything you want to know? And we will be going over this role more, the history, the documentary of Johnny Kramer. I want a Laura E. doll too. I want a Laura E. doll. If you want a Johnny doll, I want a Laura E. doll. Maybe we can exchange dolls. Maybe you could be a mod on this channel, which consists of you don't have to do too much as a mod on this channel. I mean, ask these other ladies. You really don't have to do too much. It's a self-sustaining channel. It goes on forever. It's a never-ending story. It's just the never-ending story. But I'm going to get off this contraption. I will be back more with the chronicles of Johnny Kramer. The role that almost killed me is killing me. The women that he loved and the women that were a waste of time and all that. We're going to be going through all this. I do believe there was only a couple times in life where Johnny Kramer was really in love with a woman. And the documentation shows that. One of them did have one of his kids, or two of his kids. Maybe three, I'm not sure. But I don't know, maybe 900. I'm not sure. I'm not sure because Google is not a good source for information when it comes to stuff like that. Half of it was made up. I couldn't believe it. All right. Now I want all you folks to be safe. Maybe I'll just go ahead and make Lori E a mod. You want to be a mod, Miss Lori E? I'm not sure. I don't know if you have the time to spend here with Johnny and his chat. I'm not sure. Let me know if you do. I'm sure a lot of people, once they find out that I run the channel and Johnny is just somebody that watches it, and so they might all leave. Who knows? I mean, this has never been done before. It's huge, and we got some big people coming up on this channel. Ernie Shell, another interview with Ernie Shell. But till then, you folks be safe. God bless. I want to thank all the great mods that stopped in. Wait, only one stopped in, Miss Debbie Fox. And I guess all the other people in my chat think for some reason she's mad at me, but it might be the other clowns that were in chat. I'm not sure. I'll be back to report on the storms and other things. God bless, and you all have a great day. Be safe and get a grip and all that. God bless America. Now, you folks have a good day. I'll talk to you later. Thank my mod, Miss W. Fox, for stopping in. We'll try and figure out what's going on behind the scenes. Have a good day.